Welcome. I am the teacher. I'm going to be speaking to you today for maybe like 30 minutes or so. Um, the winter solstice is coming up. I am looking forward to that. During the time of December the 1st all the way to December the 22nd, I will not eat nor drink during the daylight hours. Um, I have been doing this probably for the past 9 years or so. Um, it's a very spiritual time for me. I also, at times, do the spring equinox, the summer solstice, and the fall equinox. Um, the winter solstice is something that I always do. The sun that goes down into its lowest point, and then it begins to rise as in the original thought. And since I do teach mathematics from the original thought, which I like to call the supreme mathematics of understanding, based on the 120, based from the original teachings, going on with the original thought, and breaking down the numbers. If you have watched my videos, you have seen I have spoke on each number and what each number means. The number 1 through 9, and I have mentioned also the number 0, which means nothing. It is defined as nothing. My next video that I'm going to do on the numbers is going to be based on pretty much the womb 0. I'm going to show you each number has its own pattern. Basically, I've been showing you the 3 patterns of life, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9, and 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9. I have showed you about them 3 patterns based on also the 3 cycles of that, the 3 cycles when they are broken down. And then I spoke on the significance of the 3, the 6, and the 9. So on this video on the numbers, this might be my last one that I would put as a basic format. But the numbers that I will show you there will be, what's within the womb, mathematically speaking, because all the numbers are in what we call nothing. Now, the significance of why we call the number 0 nothing, and why a lot of times you can't use 0 in mathematics because you don't get anything from it. It's 0, right? I mean, 0 plus 0 equals 0. 0 times 0 equals 0. People take the assumption that there is nothing there. But 0 represents the womb. It represents female. The 1 represents male. The significance of the womb, and the reason why we don't define it other than nothing, because once you define something, you are tampering with that. And everything that comes out of the 0 is new. Nor can you go to the next level without dealing with 0. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is a completed state. If you want to go into come out of the single digits into the tens, the universe is going to give you a 0. Then you get the number 10. You go through 10 through 19. And when you get to 19, you want to go into the 20th, the universe is going to give you a 0. So zero brings change. And in the original thought, when you come to a completed state, the universe gives you the opportunity to continue because life is based on the continuality. Life will continue. Communication never ends with the one. So the significance of the one, the reason why we should not define it, because once you define something, then you have made that static. You have slowed that thought. You know, you have to find it. Like I have said many times, we call life things that we shouldn't. We look at a dog and we say, oh, that's a dog, because we call it that. But that's not what it is. We look at a tree. There's many forms of different trees, but when we call it a tree, we loop them on up. Well, okay, that's a tree. Why do we need to do that? Now I understand we give each other names so we can talk and when we hear our name called, they know, oh, we're talking about us. But that's a very primitive state. That's a very, very primitive state. Because true communication is thought. True communication is frequency. True communication is vibration. When we just talking like what I'm doing now, I'm speaking English. It's just a bunch of noise. Unfortunately, this is where we at now. This is the world that we live in. We have defined everything, and once we define it, it becomes static. Our life is always based on the past because we have already defined something. So you don't define the womb because nothing comes out of the womb old or previous. The womb always produced something new. The significance of the woman, you cannot define her. She knows all about life. And each time in your development, the zero is present. And when you become to that completed state, you ain't gonna go no further until the universe, gives you that zero. Until you recognize that the reflection, if you truly want to see yourself, you have to look at the woman and vice versa. We have to both look at each other because we both come from a different perspective of life. What mathematically we'll call a parallel universe. Male and female coming together as one because we do not exist without the other. And understand what I'm saying. All life comes out of a womb. So when you place all the numbers there is, my next video I'm going to show you each number has a pattern. The number 2 has a pattern. The number 3 has a pattern. The number 4 has a pattern. Number 5, all numbers have a pattern. You get that pattern by multiplying each number starting with the number 1. Because he is the author of all of us. Numbers only exist based on the 2, 0 and 1. The 1 is the only number you can add. So the 1 is in us. The 1 is carried through all of us. None of us exists without the 1. Period. Man and his woman represents the number 2 because we are of the image and the likeness of the 1. the first number, the first expression of the one is 2, and that's us. And when we come into a full understanding, we have our son, which is the Son of Man. When a true man and a true woman with true understanding delivers us that Son of Man, which the number 19 represents, because you have the 1 and then you have the 9. You have the completed 1. And the 3 tens that brings that 19 into existence, I will probably speak on that one day as well, show you the math and how the math works with that. Because understand, the reason why our language is 10 base, because when the 1 came out to 0, he faced the 0 and went to, when you're looking at the number 10, the 1 is on, if you're looking at it, it'll be on the left side. But when the 10 is looking at us, it's on the right side. You understand? So he went to the right side. He made the 0 tenfold. All the understanding, all the numbers, everything there is, the 1 and the 0 came together is tenfold. And that's why our language, our original language, is 10 base, 0 through 9. That's our original language, 10 base. The universe that we dwell in is 12 base. I will explain that as well soon. So, like I said, my next video will be based on all the patterns of each number. Like the pattern of 9 is 9999999, period. That is completion. You can't do nothing with completion because you are completed. You are done. All 9 is going to ever produce 9. If you times 9 by any number, all is going to equal is 9. It's a completed state. The number 8 has a pattern. The number 7 has a pattern. Like I said, I'm going to show you all the patterns, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to put all the numbers together and how that is broken down, and how when you see pyramids in our ancestral world from where we came from, and when you see how the numbers line up and each side of the number, how it's breaking down, then you will come into the understanding of why the pyramid structures are so significant and how it houses natural energy, natural vibration that sets your body in natural order. There is not one human being that is walking around today, so-called modern man, that is healthy. The language that we speak to each other causes us to be fragmented. We have to be cleansed by our diet, and more importantly, the Word. As one wise man said, you can live by law, but we have to learn to live on the Word, meaning the frequency is really what sinks our body. The food we eat, the processed food we eat, it's just madness. I am making a personal commitment to eat according to what I've been blessed to know. So my diet is going to change. And during the winter solstice this year, I'm bringing my diet. I'm starting my diet then and then forevermore. I will eventually only be eating once every other day. I will not eat every day. Eventually, I will be eating once every 72 hours. That's a natural cycle. Every third day, I will eat a solid, but I will drink water. I will take in true breath, true understanding, because that's energy. And the foods that I will eat will be proper. I will be always in a state of cleansing. In the external world that we have to deal with, where everything has been defined, we need to move from that world and bring in the true world, which comes from true understanding and true understanding of the frequencies. Some of you might have already, know about the frequency of 432, 963, etc., etc. But there are other frequencies that are important and that you need to come into the understanding of. Also, visual meditation, which allows you to get your quantum going, where you'll be able to visualize and see what is actually taking place, where you are observing life without you defining what it is. Did you ever just go into a quiet place in nature and look and observe what's really taking place? You may sit by a lake and you may see what we call water. You may see birds flying, what we call birds. You may see grass, etc., insects, etc., and you name them. But what you really is looking at is life. And technically, what you are is life. You are not a human being. You are not what you call yourself. You are not the name that is given to you. What you are life. And you are constantly growing and you're constantly changing. You should not be defined. You are either male or female. Period. You either 0 or 1. Period. That's what you are. Because that is the expression of life. Period. Mathematics takes a so-called individual opinion to rest. When you want to talk truth, the only language that's going to give you a true result is mathematics. You can have your opinion. That's why I don't debate. What am I debating for? That's your opinion. I can agree with that perspective or I can disagree with your perspective. What I'm not going to do is allow you to tell me that 6 plus 6 equals 29. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Period. You can't have a true conversation without the basics of truth. It's a total waste of time. How are you going to do that? A true conversation comes with true understanding. Now, just because you feel a certain way, you don't own truth. Those are your feelings. Okay, knock yourself out. Don't tell me that you speak in your truth. You speak in what you experienced. And you are a unique equation. But you life. Just like me. What makes us one is the one that is in us. We all from the number one. We all from the original thought. But you can have your opinion, you can have your perspective, but don't tell me it's true. The only thing that is true is mathematics. I cannot experience what you experienced. Each of us can experience something at the same time, and it can affect me differently because I am a unique equation. But we all need each other to continue. We can't let our experiences separate us and we start building these fences and this so-called space between one another. Oh, I'm a black man, you're a white man, you're a yellow man, and all this kind of stuff. What you are is you life. Period. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an assassin, I'm a football player, I'm XYZ. What you are is life. And the respect of life and knowing that we have that in common, there is no life greater than the next life. All life is equal because we all got the one. None of us will exist without the one. Tell me a number that doesn't have the one in it. 0 has all the numbers in it. So if 0 has all the numbers in it, surely the one was the first. The original thought. Period. So, with the winter solstice coming up, I hope some of you join me with that. If you don't do the winter solstice, you can do the spring equinox. It's the same. March 1st through March 21st, the first day of spring. You don't eat or drink during the daylight hours. The summer solstice, I always do that, a little difference. I drink during the daylight hours, but I do not eat during the daylight hours. The fall equinox, I once again do the same. I will not drink or eat during the daylight hours. So this syncs you with, is happening with between the sun and the earth within your galaxy. You come in alignment. Our body is of the earth, but your consciousness is universal. There is no such thing as an alien because we are all universal beings. Period. Going through the alignment, you are aligning your body universally. And this is an old tradition about you reseeking yourself with the original thought of the one. Period. The structures that are still remain throughout history through floods, earthquakes, or whatever, is the pyramid structure. Period. You think this nonsense that so-called modern man is building, that these structures going to be around 15, 20,000 years from now? It won't. You think your so-called democracies and all this stuff is going to be around 12,000 years from now? It will not. You know what's going to be around? Frequency. Because all life vibrates. All life is alive. And all life has something to reveal to life. And what all life reveals is the one. Period. All our lives, the most important thing we can ever do, the best thing we can ever learn, is the reality of the one. The one is the only thing that exists, and we should always seek that one. One of my favorite true statements that I wrote over 20 years ago is, I slip into a daze in my dream of a distant maze as I collect my thoughts to rephrase these events of the coming days. I praise the truth for accepting me for me, which allows me to see how the divine works in harmony with those of us who believes in He. He being the answer to the answer of the question before the answer. So yes, I dream in my awakened state to reiterate the blessings of life's lessons and pass the torch to my son, so when he is called, he will come into his true self. So yes, I have awakened. So there is no mistaking to the words you read. It's a true creed indeed that frees the thoughts of the maze as the haze of the days fades. And so clearly I see the true self of me. She is so lovely. And without her, there is no true me. On that note, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1.